I am Trayvon Martin. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to go to the rally in New York to support and stand in solidarity with the family of this young man. Um, as most of you know, if you've been paying attention, an innocent young man was murdered in the subdivision where his father lived, which was a gated community. The young man had on him a bag of Skittles and an Arizona iced tea. He was gunned down in cold blood by a man who, on a 911 taped conversation, was told not to follow the man. He was supposed to be, the man who did the shooting, George Zimmerman, was supposed to be neighborhood watch, but he was self-appointed neighborhood watch. He wasn't actually the neighborhood watch spokesperson or what have you. The interesting things were very interesting, sad things, was that, again, the 911 tapes, the dispatcher told them not to follow the young man, which he did anyway. You can clearly hear George Zimmerman being the aggressor, and you can hear the screams of the 17-year-old man as he's being shot. What I find very sad, very troubling, very interesting, very disgusting is that when Sanford police arrived, they did a background check and a drug check on the deceased Trayvon Martin's body. They did not do a background check or a drug screening on the murderer. Yet there are police reports or calls from where this basically psychopath has called 911 some 40 some odd times with just stupid calls, basically. The fact that he was not arrested, not drug tested, background wasn't checked, he also got to walk away scot-free with the murder weapon. I always believe that if there is a murder, the weapon is taken into police custody because it is now evidence. The fact that 3 days from now, it will be a whole month, and this man has not been arrested is appalling to me here in America. That the police, not only in the city of Sanford, but also in the state of Florida, has not done much of anything. And now that there's nationwide outrage, they want to start moving. It makes absolutely no sense. It does make sense from the standpoint of over and over in this country, the way, again, they always say actions speak louder than words, and the way they all treat our human lives, which our lives, all of us are human, but the fact that we have melanin in our skin, we don't get national coverage and national press or the help that we always ask for. When Casey Anthony was on trial, when Natalie Holloway went missing, you could not turn on the TV without seeing their faces. It's really, really also interesting that you've got the 911 tape of Trayvon's murder. You've got witnesses. You've got a young lady who lives in the subdivision who had to call police several times for them to take her statement. That makes absolutely no sense at all, and it is absolutely disgusting, outrageous, and just disheartening. As I listened to his mother's voice yesterday at the rally, my knees buckled and my eyes filled up with tears because I was born and raised in Orlando, and I know at any given point And even now, I'm a black man in America. It could happen to me at any given time. And I wonder just how the police would not cooperate in trying to solve my murder. How much grief just the not knowing what caused my family and my friends and my loved ones. Um, it is outrageous. And I also want to say, just as outraged as I am, and that a lot of us are about this, I want us to be this outraged and this vigilant against all disrespect and all evil and all wrongdoing. This is not a case of black and white. This is a case of right and wrong. And they're even saying that that Zimmerman was Latino, as if that makes a difference. The fact of the matter is, an innocent young man of 17 years old is dead. His admitted killer is walking free. There's no way around that. There's this law in Florida about the whole self-defense thing. But even with that law, even if that was the case, and from the 911 tapes, we know it's not. But even from the tapes, if there was self-defense being involved, George Zimmerman had a gun. Trayvon Martin, had a bag of Skittles and an Arizona tea. If I slap you, you can slap me back, you can possibly punch me. But for you to pull out a gun and shoot me does not fall within that law. It is really sad that things like this continue to happen. They've happened since we were brought to this country, and our histories have been all but completely erased. We were forced to believe a whole bunch of things about ourselves, which wasn't true. And we were forced to believe them through fear, through beatings, through lynchings. And then even when we were supposedly free, there were still laws where basically it was okay to kill us, which in so many words sends the message that our life is less valuable than yours. All life is valuable, and the color of anybody's skin does not make them any less valuable or their story less important of investigating or media coverage or whatever you have it. It's a sad, sad day in America, but I hope that we truly do not let Trayvon's death be in vain. It's just like with Amadou Diallo, Emmett Till, Troy Davis. America, you have a long, long history of mistreating and murdering people of color and brushing it under the rug and getting people off and acting like nothing happened. I'm here to let you know my life has meaning. Trayvon's life had meaning. His passing is going to have meaning. And I hope that part of this passing is that we finally recognize that our voice has power and that our life has meanings. And if we protest, if we shout loud enough, if we stand on what we believe, we can affect change. We can get things done. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And it could always be you. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, it could easily be you. And the thing is, if you don't stand up now, when will you ever stand up? It's a sad case. I think about, I'm going back to when I heard Trayvon's mother's voice yesterday, and I immediately began to think back, because I grew up in Orlando, Florida. And at any given point, it could have been me, could have been my brother, could have been my cousins, could have been my friends, my god brothers, my classmates, my nephews. And even now, I'm still a black man in America. I am Trayvon Martin, so it still could happen to me today. And I wonder how much more pain the police will put my family through with their inaction. I don't get it. All the extra suffering for no reason. You know there was a murder. You have the 911 tapes that prove that George Zimmerman was the aggressor, yet he's still walking free. It makes absolutely no sense. And city of Sanford, state of Florida, you really should be ashamed. And no, the whole world is watching. Yeah, the whole world is watching. But you know, I look back, I'm 40 years old now, and I look back over my life, and for at least 35 of them, I've been profiled, I've been pulled over, I've been followed, I've been harassed. And often it's been by the police and by the security guards. So I know what it's like. Again, I am Trayvon Martin because this story is not new. The only difference is God spared my life for whatever reason. I remember being pulled over. I'm walking through my cousin's apartment complex. I had a cousin on one end and a cousin on the other end. And I'm walking from one apartment to the other. I'm 14 years old. I didn't know anything about the law. I get pulled over, well, I get stopped by two police officers, both Caucasian, and my picture is taken, and I'm fingerprinted. I had done nothing wrong. I knew nothing about the law. I didn't know this was illegal. But yeah, I had all this stuff done to me. And I'm sure that somewhere they probably put me in the system at that point, but since I had never done anything, they had to get rid of whatever those records were. But that was illegal and that was wrong, and that's the thing that people of color face on a daily basis. It's unfortunate and it's sad, and it should not happen anywhere, especially not here in America. My heart goes out to the family of Trayvon and all the other lost young men and women to violence, and I pray that we all get closure and that the police step up and do what they're supposed to do and get some help. And know that your lives have meaning, your lives have value just because you're here. We have to do better. We have to come together and let our voices be heard, let our power be shown. Again, I thank you for your time, and I am Trayvon Martin.